Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? Hope everybody is good this evening. Giving you an update on this week's trading. A bit of a review of the pre-market report that was distributed on Sunday, and a bit of chat of today's market environment. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the things that were on the pre-market report. Let's start there under equities review. Um, in this paragraph, I spoke about most importantly the melt up. That's kind of what we've been getting in equities all week this week. It's kind of been like a slow draw higher. No real strong price moves, just more rather docile market that we would describe as a melt up. So we're kind of experiencing that this week as we record this here on a Wednesday, June 9th. And then I spoke about the two most important volatile events that could take place that could make equities quite a bit shaky. Right? Those are interest rate changes, and removal of government support and buying corporate bonds or any kind of market support that the Fed is planning on unwinding. Then after that, I talked about tech and how tech was the most notable performing sector of last week, considering of a 6-month bear market in growth stocks. Tech stocks picked up some pretty big momentum. So some of the names there that had some stout performance throughout the week: DocuSign, Fubo, Oracle. As of this week, for sure, Fubo went higher. Fubo's now like 31. I think when I wrote this, it was 20, mid 20s, somewhere at 25. DocuSign, not too sure what happened with DocuSign, but Nvidia also went higher this week as well. Um, so that was very interesting. A lot of that bullish strength was off the back of a positive non-farm payroll last week, which that was very interesting information as well. The unemployment rate declined by 0.3%. To 5.8%, so that was bullish. Markets took it bullish. So Friday we went into Friday strong, and I believe Monday was pretty fair too. All right, sectors and industries. Some of the strongest sectors and industries as of the most recent time: finance. I've been talking about bank stocks a lot, but this week bank stocks didn't make any progress so far. It's Thursday, and most of the bank stocks kind of rolled off. We can quickly have a quick scope at finance. Under financials here, my watch list: JP Morgan down today, PNC Bank, Bank of America, Ally Bank, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, all kind of down today. So rentals, finance, payments, REITs did pretty good for the financials book, but bank stocks did not do too well so far today, and I don't think they've done well this week either. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to a bank stock that was on GME. All right. All right. So we kind of just all week this week, it's kind of just been rolling over 1, 2, 3 since Monday. So there'll probably be a good dip buying opportunity if this plans to trend, but we'll see. With this bit of rotation into tech, into growth this week, kind of put a different eye on things. You kind of got to watch them a little bit differently. I wonder how this will play out. But we got a little bit of pressure in the cyclicals that we can record as we sit and review the trading day here on Thursday. All right. Non-energy minerals, transportation, process industries, and retail trade. Um, I'm not sure if retail. I'm not sure how retail trade did. Let's see here. Retail consumers kind of read today from Overstock. Home Depot has been on a bit of a decline. We've seen the nail ETF get beat up pretty good. Nike had a recent Nike had a recent um, campaign come out. It was the campaign, so we'll be looking for updates in Nike news, their new campaign. Forgot what it was, but they had a new campaign that came out. I'll pull it up later. Very good. And let's see, what's this? Best Buy. Best Buy down $3.23 today. I think they had earnings this morning that disappointed as well. And then we had the likes of GameStop. GameStop had earnings that came out after the bell today. Stock's down a little bit, and that's a retailer as well. Let's see if it's, oh, there it is. Stock came down a little bit, kind of bounced around actually, only down 50 cents. Now it was down 15 when the news came out, popped back up. Looks like GameStop's likely to go higher tomorrow if it keeps up this look. Right, so those earnings came out. Let's talk a bit about those earnings really quickly. Earnings per share, negative 45 cents per share, beats the analyst consensus of 83 cents per share. Sales of 1.28 billion beat analyst consensus of 1.16 billion. GameStop reported quarterly losses of 45 cents per share, which beat the analyst consensus estimate of 83 cents per share by 45%. This is a 72% increase over losses of $1.61 per share in the same period last year. The company reported quarterly sales of 1.28 billion, which beat the analyst consensus of an estimate 1.16 billion by 10%. So what the market is pricing in likely will be progress in their situation. Okay, so it looks like they're paying down debt, and they're making some kind of money here, and or starting to, and it's going to be looking pretty good for GME going forward under this environment. So that's really interesting. Earnings report was pretty good. All right, and let's see here. Yep, back to this. All right, so those are some of the sectors and industries that perform the best. Banks kind of end up rolling over. Transportation was a value play as well. That kind of got a little soft today. Retail trade got a little soft as well. Right? Talked about electronics, appliances, home, movies, coal, oil, and gas. Okay, let's check over coal, oil, and gas because it's just been a sector that has been doing really well lately. But no major changes. Exxon up maybe 50 cents so far. Let's see, maybe $1.50, maybe $2 this week it put on. But other than that, let's see, Oxy kind of rolling off. Not all too much progress. Right, but energy stocks have been getting a lot of attention. I probably don't have the best energy stocks, honestly. I don't really research too much energy, but I did see that dynamic play out. Oil prices going higher. I think oil traded $70 this week, so that was quite notable. That the energy market was priming pretty well. This is West Texas Intermediate crude, 69.68. Right, very good. Yeah, that was this section here was a bit of a follow-up behind the higher oil prices and their push to kind of slow down this whole production here of oil, causing these prices to go up. So it's going to be this was an article that was written quite some time ago, just before the hack. Very interesting. Earnings this week. We got the GME earnings. We already seen those. Chewy, Signet tomorrow. Not too much going on. Earnings season coming to an end here, kind of sogging up. So finally getting to the end of that, right? And the economic release of data for this week. Tomorrow's Thursday, so we get the consumer price report. That's going to be the report of inflation. It's going to help give us a good idea of that. So very important report tomorrow. That will be 8:30 a.m. So that's before the open. That will kind of shape the open for sure tomorrow. This will be at 8:30, so it'll definitely be shaping the open. And it'll be good to see what how the market traded overall this week as a whole. Let's go ahead and have a stop in tech. Pretty flat, I must say. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty flat, guys. Not really all too much action in the equity space specifically, but I would say that small caps have been quite favorable. Small caps have been doing very well. I have some small cap plays that I did that were quite the jog, right? And that means the large cap stocks kind of had a little bit of pressure this week. So even if we stopped over in clean energy, we'll see not too much progress in the large cap area. Even Enphase was a bit soggy all day too. Clean energy a bit soggy all week, actually. Right? Hotel, travel, and leisure was all down today as well, and that was a little surprising too. I was like, so if you're doing anything large cap, likely you had a red day today, which not all too fun, but part of the game. All right. A lot of red, this week. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, none of them really traded higher this week. I mean, most of them traded lower. So that's something to note, that they were quite sluggish this week. All the hotels were very, very sluggish. Airlines, everything was sluggish this week. It's already Thursday, and none of them really made new highs. So that's something to note. Right? Industrials as well, very, very soggy in the industrial area as well. Something to note. How soggy they were this week. Air freight and couriers. We'll see what happens tomorrow in this price consumer index information. If that comes out, jogs up the big stock, jogs up the large cap stocks, maybe we see how we end the week. But so far, we can also see UPS and FedEx down quite a bit. Look at that, rolling off pretty well today. Those are big down. Those are big down days for those two. So a little bit of frothiness going on here. As these equities sit at the highs, we'll have to go ahead and pay attention to the market environment going forward. That's really how you would sum it up. Okay, equities flat all day this week, but large caps were pretty much down for the most part. And the small cap stocks moved the most. Even like some pot stocks like Tilray moved pretty good this week, right? So it was like more of like a mid cap, small cap environment this week. Be noting that going forward. Large caps not so much. We had some pretty interesting plays in the small cap area, like BBIG. This was very interesting. SOS and JAGX. So there are some very interesting ones today. We'll see how it continues throughout the rest of the trading week. IVR was another big move as well. So we'll go ahead and continue to watch how they trade throughout the rest of the trading week. But the large cap stocks were in a little tricky environments. Definitely something to pay attention to. I traded CCIV earlier this week on the initial breakout from 24 to 26, but that is really about it. All right, market overall, I would say it's kind of soggy, depending on what you're trading. Definitely mostly trading equity rather than like calls, because we're dealing with smaller stock. Not all of them have options. And then if I am trading options on some of the large cap stocks, then I kind of just trade them accordingly with my risk plan. Right? So I hope everybody gets a good understanding of this week's market environment, how markets are trading, what some of the stocks I've been looking at and or trading. Tesla's been quite a little weak lately, a little sideways here. But I think we're going to still trade down to 450, 465 before it'll be a good buy. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see, but looking pretty rough over there. Bitcoin got some attention earlier this week. Look at this nasty reversal there. Swipe back real hard. Not all the altcoins followed, from the likes of like Cardano, but went back and forth. Not too sure if it's gonna go higher or go lower, but it would have to break this 30,000 mark. A lot of funds are buying at that low, so we'll see. Just gonna have to take some time to see what ends up happening, if we go lower or we reverse and go higher. But that's what's going on in the crypto market. I would just keep your eye out. I mean, these are some good dip buying opportunities for those that are extremely bullish, and for those that aren't, I would wait. I would wait till you start to see a more consistent trend develop. Right? Don't have to rush and buy into complete uncertainty, but You know, that's how things go. It's a very volatile market in the crypto space, so you have to have high conviction and be able to stand the swings, right? So very, very good. Let's see here. And that pretty much sums up today's market review. It's Wednesday, June 9th, slap in the middle of the week. Here's a rundown on what was going on this so far this week. Not all too crazy, but definitely some opportunity. Always opportunity in the market. Always opportunity available. Right? Hope everybody has a good trading week, and we catch up again soon.